Over the course of 12 seasons, The Big Bang Theory blossomed from a niche sitcom about socially awkward scientists to a mainstream juggernaut that helped redefine nerd culture. At the heart of its success was the unexpected romance between Leonard Hofstadter, the geeky but lovable physicist, and Penny, the aspiring actress and girl next door. Their relationship served as the emotional spine of the show, bridging the gap between two worlds, academia and everyday life, intellect and intuition, fantasy and reality. But despite their wedding, shared moments of tenderness, and comedic highs, the show never truly resolved their biggest relationship issue, a fundamental incompatibility in how they viewed one another. And one episode, in particular, makes this flaw painfully clear. Season 9, Episode 2, The Separation Oscillation. The core issue. Insecurity and imbalance. Leonard and Penny's biggest unresolved problem was always Leonard's deep-rooted insecurity and Penny's occasional indifference to addressing it. Leonard never quite believed he was enough for Penny, and Penny never made much of an effort to correct that perception. In fact, at times, she unintentionally reinforced it. Their dynamic started with Leonard putting Penny on a pedestal. From the very first episode, Leonard was enamored by her beauty, her confidence, her normalcy. She represented everything he felt he lacked. While this was initially endearing and played for laughs, especially against Sheldon's obliviousness, the relationship never truly evolved past this imbalance. Leonard continued to see Penny as unattainably perfect, while Penny, though she matured significantly over the series, often treated Leonard more like a comfort blanket than a true equal. That imbalance is front and center in The Separation Oscillation. The episode follows the fallout of Leonard and Penny's elopement in Las Vegas and Leonard's confession that he drunkenly kissed another woman, Mandy, during his time on the North Sea research trip. While the kiss was minor in terms of physical betrayal, its emotional weight was enormous. The real kicker, though, was that Leonard had told Penny about the kiss before the wedding, just moments before they said, "I do," and she went through with the ceremony anyway. But the issues didn't stop there. The aftermath laid bare their mutual uncertainty about why they even got married in the first place. "Why are we even together?" In one of the most emotionally loaded exchanges of the episode, Leonard and Penny are forced to confront a question that had lingered since season 1. Why are they even together? Penny voices the concern that she feels like Leonard wears her down into dating and marrying him, rather than inspiring genuine passion or love. Leonard, for his part, can't explain why she chose him either, leaning into his go-to defense, his love for her and his perception that he lucked out. This moment is brutally honest and uncomfortably real. But instead of truly unpacking these insecurities, the show uses its usual band-aid. A few jokes, a couple of hugs, and everything is seemingly okay again. But the conversation they have in that episode reveals that their relationship is built on fragile ground, with Leonard constantly fearing abandonment and Penny unsure of her motivations. Love or comfort? While the series tries to argue that Penny and Leonard love each other deeply, there are repeated instances suggesting that their bond is more about familiarity and comfort than passion or emotional connection. Throughout the series, Penny's affection for Leonard feels reactive. When he's unavailable or with someone else, like Priya, she suddenly realizes she has feelings for him. When he's emotionally needy, she steps up momentarily but often becomes visibly uncomfortable with deeper expressions of love. And when Leonard wants to talk seriously about their future, she brushes things off with humor or silence. This isn't to say Penny doesn't love Leonard, but rather that the show never shows her fully understanding or addressing Leonard's emotional needs. Leonard, meanwhile, accepts this dynamic because he's so grateful to be with her that he's willing to overlook his own unhappiness. And again, The Separation Oscillation makes this clearer than any other episode. Leonard is almost begging for Penny to reassure him, while Penny seems confused about why she has to do so. The wedding that solved nothing. One of the strangest things about this episode is that it follows what should have been a triumphant moment, their wedding. But instead of bringing clarity, their marriage only highlights their unresolved tension. By choosing to have Leonard confess to kissing another woman right before their vows, the show inserted a permanent fracture into the foundation of their relationship, and Penny's decision to go through with it anyway, without really dealing with the betrayal, signals a resignation more than a resolution. It's as if both characters thought the act of marriage itself would solve their problems. But marriage is not a finish line, it's a beginning. After this episode, their dynamic mostly returns to status quo. Penny gets a new job. Leonard continues to be overly accommodating, and their arguments fade into the background. The emotional core is left untouched, like a crack wallpapered over. A missed opportunity. The Big Bang Theory had a golden opportunity with this episode to dive deep into Leonard and Penny's emotional disconnect. Instead, it flinched. The show, for all its brilliance, was often afraid to challenge its characters in meaningful ways. Unlike Friends, where Ross and Rachel or Monica and Chandler had to confront real emotional flaws, The Big Bang Theory kept its relationships safe, wrapped in geeky humor and sitcom timing. Had the show allowed Leonard and Penny to break up temporarily, seek therapy, or even take time to figure out their motivations, it might have given fans a more satisfying evolution. Instead, we're left with two characters whose problems are swept under the rug in favor of another quirky subplot or Star Wars reference. Conclusion: The Big Bang Theory gave fans 12 years of laughs, heartwarming moments, and genuine growth, especially for characters like Sheldon and Amy. But in Leonard and Penny's case, it stopped short. The separation oscillation proves that even after marriage, their biggest issue, Leonard's insecurity and Penny's ambivalence, remained unresolved. It wasn't about one kiss or a single argument, it was about a foundational disconnect that neither character ever fully addressed. And by refusing to tackle it head-on, the show left its central romance slightly hollow. Charming, nostalgic, and iconic, absolutely. But truly resolved? Not even close.